I don't care about the Mondrich family. I'm sorry. Whew. Y'all get in here because we have a lot to talk about. I just finished watching Bridgerton season 3 part 1, and I have some opinions, so let's get into it. But first, if you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Deborah, student singer, songwriter, and everything else in between. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my favorite TV shows, movies, and series. And today we're talking about Bridgerton season 3 part 1. First of all, I will say that I still love part 1. Like, this is not absolute slander. I still really like it, and I still have a lot of hopes for part 2, especially. Like, it's not bad by any means, but there are some problems. Now, let's start with the things I do like. One thing that definitely made me laugh this season was Queen Charlotte and the fact that she herself is getting bored of calling a new diamond every season. I love her little relationship, friendship with Brimsley. It's always super cute, especially knowing that Queen Charlotte, like, they had such a very, very big connection. So it's always just nice to see a nod towards that. I also very, very, very much loved the plotline for Lady Violet Bridgerton and her garden that is in bloom. Her garden might just be tended to this season, which I really, really like. I thought that was great. I thought there were, a couple of nods to Queen Charlotte, and it's about time Lady Violet has a love life of her own. So period. I'm very, very excited for her. I also have some opinions on Eloise, Cressida, and their dynamic, especially Eloise and Cressida. I made a separate video about that, so you guys will get a full breakdown, but I actually pleasantly surprised concerning their relationship dynamic, and I like it. I like it. The thing is that with Colin and with Penelope especially, there are some new things that we've been introduced to that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. I knew that they were going to do a lot of book changes in, of course, the seasons, and there are some things I was hoping that they would definitely change, including Colin's temperament and the fact that my man was always angry 24/7. So I'm very happy that they definitely changed that. But the first thing that kind of threw me off a little bit was this whole like sexual Colin era. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that the Bridgerton boys definitely, Anthony had his whole little rendezvous in season 1, and then he got himself together in season 2. But the thing is, I don't think it fits, if that makes sense. It was a little bit weird to see him like in random threesomes for no reason when that was never in the book. If he went through this before this, I would have been like, okay, that's part of his past, he's changing. Or if they had put those kinds of scenes while he was traveling and then he came back, then sure. But now it kind of seems out of place, and it's like, I get that you're trying to make this guy like, the new hottie biscotti, but you don't need to be doing all of that. Like, I don't need to see him have constant threesomes to know that he's attractive now. Like, it's okay. And also, it kind of feels a little bit icky and weird that this guy is out here. This is not to shame anyone who like has a very active sex life, but it just feels kind of weird knowing that like this guy is out here doing this, and Penelope is just trying to get her life together and just try to get married. It doesn't fit right, if that makes sense. And it doesn't really speak to the Colin character that we sort of know. But I guess they're trying to establish that he's a new man. But like, you don't need to be doing all that. Like, for example, we knew that in season 1, Simon was a rake, of course. But like, how many scenes did you actually see of that? You didn't need to see it. You could believe it. With Simon, you didn't have to see him have multiple threesome scenes with random women for us to believe that he was a rake. Like, it's okay. It's okay. You could just have frequent discussions. You can be charming. I don't need to be seeing all of that. It's okay. I don't know. That was just personally for me. I was just kind of like, this is not what I came here for. Then number 2, I do feel like the pacing of the show was a little bit off. I'm not going to lie to you. The pacing was too fast because there's some very important scenes that are actually missing. And the fact that he immediately like wants to marry her right after the carriage scene, like, yes, something like that is supposed to happen, but it doesn't really happen like that. And that was a scene I was actually hoping that they would actually keep. And I was also hoping that he would want to marry her before he found out that Penelope is Lady Whistledown. I feel like that is more effective. And I feel like the show maybe is trying to keep it in for extra drama, but him knowing that she is Lady Whistledown is drama enough. Like, I'm sorry. And the fact that, like, him knowing that she's Lady Whistledown is drama enough. We don't need more. It's okay. Like, that's already a big deal. And in the books, he's supposed to marry her, like, despite being Lady Whistledown and how he feels about it. Like, that's what we're supposed to see. And the fact that they're doing it the other way around, I don't know how it's sitting with me just yet. It's okay, but I wish they would have stuck with that because I wanted to see his reaction to her being Lady Whistledown. Then we have, like, you know, a little bit of a moment where he grapples with that. I didn't agree with in the book scene where he was being a little too grabby and touchy with her and basically low-key violent. So I was hoping that they would change that, but I don't know. That was kind of a weird change for me. Another thing is that the carriage scene, I know that they wanted a cliffhanger for episode 4, but I'm not gonna lie to you. If we looked at the precedents that has been set in seasons 1 and seasons 2, the tension and the build-up between Colin and Penelope isn't enough for me to believe that you want to marry her. It isn't enough just yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of felt like, oh, okay, we're getting married now? Seriously? Like, you know, I felt like in the books there was much more build up. Yes, in this show, they had the cut on his finger and he had the dream about her and he's seen her with another man, but you're not selling it to me just yet. I feel like there needs to be more pining and there's not enough episodes for it, number 1. Or number 2, there are enough episodes for it, but the time that we're supposed to be using to build up Colin and Penelope as characters has been eaten alive by the multiple storylines that we're taking in this show, which is what I'm going to get to next. Multiple storylines. So here's the thing. When I was expecting the show to happen, I was expecting it like how we had Kate and Anthony, who were they were literally everywhere. And then we had the occasional detour, but mostly it was Kate and Anthony who were front and center, and their slow burn was a little too slow for me sometimes, especially towards the end. But you know what? It was still burning. You know what I'm saying? Here, there hasn't been enough of that because there's multiple storylines that are being followed. Now, I do like the Lady Violet Bridgerton storyline, but just as how like it's a quick little shot, the rest of the other storylines should have either been excluded or made extremely small. I don't care about the Mondridge family. I'm sorry. I don't care enough. And sometimes I do feel like Bridgerton does forget what it's supposed to be about sometimes, and it sometimes gets stuck in the hole of trying to recorrect things for concerning race in this world of Bridgerton, and it doesn't remember that it's a fantasy world and we don't need the social correction sometimes. Or if you're going to do such a storyline where there is a prominent, like a black family that is from a lower class that moves to upper class, this is not the time to do it. This is not the time to do it because I didn't sign up for that this season. Maybe just to wrap up their storyline, they could have just done something in episode 1 where they said, okay, this family is going to get a house and they're going to be a baron, and Lady Whistledown will talk about it in her column for a bit. It'll be cute, and they would have left it there, and that's it. That's it. They should have just left it there like that in that episode. But continuing for the remainder episodes, I really feel like we could have used this time on Colin and Penelope rather than on a family that has nothing to do with the main characters that we're supposed to be rooting for this time around. So I'm sorry, but it's just not eating. I don't care enough, and it's just precious time that is being wasted on the storyline that nobody asked for. I am sorry. A lot of people are dancing around the fact that they don't like the storyline, but I will not dance around it. I don't care enough. I can understand if they're trying to use this storyline for like the future. Let's say if they have a season 4, let's say they'll bring about Benedict and Sophie, right? And Sophie will be played by Masali. I keep on pronouncing her name wrong. I'm so sorry. But let's say like they bring, the girl that has been rumored to be Sophie next season, and they say, okay, the Mondridge family is somehow related in the plot. Maybe they're related via a distant cousin or something, or if they bring that storyline around that, and where the actress is a person of color, sure. It kind of worked in Queen Charlotte when they talked about the Great Experiment, and they nodded to the fact that, of course, like Queen Charlotte is still mixed, and that's still something in the society that is, there's still an undercurrent of racism and classism and elitism, like. But you see that fit in Queen Charlotte because the main actress that we cared about was in fact mixed. You know what I mean? And here it's not really adding up. It's not correlating with one another. I think that was one of the biggest problems. I really do feel like Netflix splitting up the show for 2 separate seasons was a big mistake. I'm not gonna lie to you. The thing is like the hype that they built up for the show was really big. It was really, really big. And I think overall the show could be great, but because we haven't seen the remainder half of the show, people are gonna fixate on this first half. And the first half isn't, it's not satisfying all of us right now because there's so much that is still left to be desired, honestly. So I really feel like Netflix should have not split this up, and maybe next season they'll listen to us. Don't split up the show. Just release all the episodes. It's not that deep. At the end of the day, this is a fantasy show. Release all the episodes, please. Otherwise, I still love the show and I really want more Polin moments. I'm tired of seeing extra characters. Like, yes, Cressida, it was nice to see her, and Cressida's supposed to be super important for this storyline, right? But it's like, I don't need to see her family. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't need to see that much of her. To be honest. I feel like Cressida also had more development where Penelope is supposed to be developed. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like Penelope is supposed to be the star here. That's why she has a whole entire separate book. So I don't understand why we're not focusing on Penelope and developing her rivals' whole life. Do you know, I still like it, but like that was not what I was expecting. Where is Lady Danbury and her relationship with Penelope? Because that is also supposed to come up literally in the books. Lady Danbury is supposed to be someone that's supporting Penelope and supposed to be a sort of pseudo mother figure for her, and we're not having that just yet. So I'm really hope to see how that is supposed to be developed, but those are things I was expecting in the first 4 episodes to give us a build up. But I don't know, you guys. Let me know how you guys feel down below. Personally, I talked about Lord Debling in my last video. It wasn't really... I was so excited. I was hoping for more development for Penelope. I was hoping for a different type of relationship since Colin's been having his whole like sexual threesome situationship. So I thought we were going to have a little bit of something for Penelope. But the fact that he just left like that is crazy. I'm so sorry. But anyways, y'all, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to do a full review when the second half of the episodes are out. And hopefully, like there will be more. I still like it, of course. Like I still love the show. I love the makeover they gave Penelope. The colors were really eating. The outfits were eating. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I dislike the show. It's just like there's some things that we needed to talk about. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to your girl. Because some of y'all, you come watch the essays, you come watch the videos, and you're not subscribed. Please, you can join the family. I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.
Oh my